All right, I'm calling to order the regular meeting of the Wellington Board of Selectmen of December 1st, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Would you all join me for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is approval of minutes. We have, moved correctly through here. We have minutes of 11/17, which was the last of the previous board, and we have minutes of 11/24. So I'm going to start with 11/17, so we do them in chronological order. So they're ready. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the minutes of November 17th, 2025.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Ralph, you all set on the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Move to approve the minutes of 24.
I second.
All right, any discussion? I don't have them. That's it.
You sure both of them, my paper clipped them together.
Yeah, I have the agenda from the 24th instead of the minutes.
Yeah, I think I have.
But I have reviewed them already.
Yes, you have.
I
I
have.
have them, yeah.
So if you guys are all set.
Yep.
All right, then all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, that does it for approval of minutes. Present to speak, public participation is encouraged. Speakers are limited by appropriateness, staying on topic and maintaining decorum. Time may be limited to maintain progress. Please request to reserve time during the meeting if you wish to speak to a specific agenda item. I'll start in the room. Anybody present to speak? All right, online, anyone present to speak, raise your hand or unmute.
For both.
And or. Okay, so seeing none at this point, we'll move on. Correspondence, we have none tonight. Tax refunds also, we have none tonight, so we'll move on to the Public Works report. For the last couple of weeks, Public Works has been working on garage cleanup and general maintenance, getting plow equipment ready for the trucks. They created a bus turnaround on Cravanek Road. They've been doing leaf blowing, chipping brush on Village Hill, picking up trash at the parks, cleaned up down trees and chipped brush for specific locations, mixed some salt and sand for the winter, grading on dirt roads and adding aggregate. Staff had their annual hearing tests, replaced stop signs due to vandalism on the following roads: Naberville, Old South Wellington, Lushon, St. Moritz, and the intersection of Polster and Mahaliac Extension. They're asking that we make the public aware that this is approximately $200 per stop sign setup for replacement. So if you see something happening or you have inclination as to who is responsible for taking down all these stop signs, on top of the safety issue, it's also a financial issue. So please, if you know something, say something. Help us stop that. They also did some further winter prep on the vehicles, putting fluid film on to try to prep them as much for the salt and other treatments that are tough on the undersides of the vehicles. And Public Works also wanted me to make sure to remind everyone that we possibly have the first snowstorm of the season tomorrow. And you can get updates from the DPW Facebook page and web page. For, not about the storm itself, I'm sorry, I didn't say that right. You can refer to those pages for information about the town's mailbox policy. There's a graphic that shows the shoveling, plowing instructions for people who have driveways, where they're intersecting with the road, so they don't create safety issues in the roadways. There's information on salt and sand for resident use at the transfer station, which is only during the regular transfer station hours, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and a reminder to be safe and stay off the roads if you are able until the storm is over, so that the public works crews can clear the roads. That's it for DPW report. Any questions on that before we? Okay. First Selectmen status report. Website changeover has been a little bumpy, but it's coming along. There's a lot of hard work going on in this building by people working with the vendor, and I did get some reach out from people in the community concerned that we did a website update and saying we should have just left it alone. One, it was not as good as it should be, and two, we had no choice because that platform was about to become extinct, and we had to move it. There was no choice. So again, I ask for the public's patience. It's frustrating when you can't find the thing you're looking for, but reach out and let us know. It possibly should be available, and we just don't know that it's not available yet because we haven't looked for it. Or it's possible it's something that's in transition. The vendor has been very responsive, and hopefully we're closing in on getting all the functionality right. Go ahead, question?
No, just a comment. One thing I noticed is the transition between the two websites, anything that I had subscribed to, transitioned so far extremely well. But I find it very confusing about how to subscribe to agendas and minutes.
To the notifications.
Yes,
Yeah, we're gonna keep working on that.
I was trying to come up with something to explain to people how they could do this, because it's one of my pet peeves. If you want to know what's going on in town, subscribe to the agendas and minutes. You have no paper to deal with. Pull it up on the screen, look at, review an agenda. If it's got something of interest, great. If not,
right,
don't waste the paper.
Right. Okay. Next, Troy and I stopped in a couple times to review the paving work that was done at Willington Hill Firehouse. To make sure that the taxpayers are getting what they're paying for with that project. It had some challenges where the parking lot met the building. Paving company overcame those challenges well. There's a little bit of finish up work left to be done. Troy was also concerned about where the parking lot met the road, that joint was done right, and actually discovered to his pleasant surprise that the main road of Old Farms was actually thicker than he thought it was. So that was a good sign for stability. Met with
Before you get off that, I did get a call from a resident saying that they had seen a fairly large puddle at the Willington Hill paving, and that was a concern. They said if the town paid for that and it's already getting a puddle, that was a grading problem. Is that part of the things that are being addressed?
That is part of what's being addressed. The company was out today. We took pictures in the rain the other night.
Good.
Took a whole bunch of pictures of the way the water was running on the parking lot and the puddling. One of the problems was one of the downspouts on the fire station was dumping straight on the ground. The little outlet thing to kick the water out was gone. So that was part of the problem, but the puddle and the runoff from the road crossing the parking lot are both being addressed by the paving company.
I will let them know.
Glad you brought that up. I met with the fire marshal to start working on moving towards electronic document retention for the inspection reports for the fire marshal. which will allow a better ability to see what's going on, where there are problems in town. It'll also allow property owners eventually to be able to get access to the records for their property, and will expedite information requests when people are looking like for title transfers of commercial buildings and they want to see the latest fire reports for a building. Right now, they have to call and talk to the fire marshal and find when they can get a report. In the future, just like all the land use records, they'll just be able to look up online and see the reports for the address. Everbridge, we've been talking about for the last two administrations since Erica was first select person. And most of the work, all the internal work for the staff in the building was already done. I can take no credit for that. And I met with Alex and discussed finishing up the public side of it so we can get it advertised and do the outreach and get Everbridge up and running. I've had multiple contacts with Jeff Gordon and Tammy Nuccio about support for the town and in general, and more specifically, particularly with Tammy, about the school building committee and the work for getting the reimbursement rate, and kind of hammering on me to make sure we get going so that the public has its opportunity to provide input and we get to a place where the public has an opportunity to decide on doing a project or not. And we have the opportunity, in that case, we would have the opportunity to leverage the high reimbursement rate. Dog pound, we've been hearing for a while about regionalizing the dog pound. I had a Zoom meeting the other day with the rep from the state. That is moving along well. The agreement is under review by the various towns and attorneys to sign the memorandum of understanding for the regional animal control. And today I started reviewing proposals for the what's called ITM, inspect, test, maintenance on the life safety systems in town buildings. We got a bid from a contractor that apparently thinks that we weren't going to check with other contractors on how much it should cost to inspect emergency lights and fire extinguishers and stuff like that. And they had proposed a very high amount of money to do that. So we're gonna go through that and make sure we get a good deal on that.
That has to be done by a third party, it's just, is it outside?
Some of it can be done internally by the people in the building, like monthly checks and stuff, fire extinguishers, that kind of thing. But the annual fire extinguisher, annual emergency light, those kind of things have to be done by qualified personnel.
Okay.
Does it fall under fire marshal?
Well, the fire marshal would enforce it. But they're not responsible to see, they're responsible to ask us if it's been done.
Okay.
But not to get it done. It's the building owner's responsibility. That's it for first selectman status report. Any questions on anything else? Okay, on page. New business, item 9A, committee reappointments for CIP, EDC, ZBA. There is, what's that?
And Conservation Commission,
Um,
we're adding that one.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we add to item 9A, the Conservation Commission as well.
I'll second.
Discussion? All right, those in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, so now 9A will include also conservation. So, okay, so, sorry, I just have to sort through the papers here. We have the CIP chairman here. Jim, do you have anything?
No, you should be looking to Christina Malos. Her appointment is up, might be today even. So she has expressed interest in serving for another 3 years. She's been a valuable and insightful voice, on the committee, and we welcome to have her. I think she's online if you want to hear from her as well. And then, we have, I believe Board of Finance has a new representative in Jason Ross that they've like to appoint to the committee to serve as the Board of Finance delegate. Instead of Steph Summers, who stepped down after, I think, 9 years on the committee. And then, we will have a vacancy for Stu Cobb, who's decided not to continue on.
Right, and we didn't have a name for that yet, right?
Correct, so just, there is vacancy, and if you know anybody, get the word out or share the word. Remember that?
Okay. So, Christina, are you in fact on? There's so many.
Yes, I'm on.
And you're going, full well knowing what you're volunteering for and you're willing?
Yes. Yes.
Sign her up.
Before she changes her mind.
Okay, anything you want to add? We already know that you are a longtime member and a former first select woman, so we're assuming, I think we're rightfully assuming that you have value to the committee.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I feel like I've been on it at least for the last few years, with a little break since I was first selectman, but I think it's important to continue what we're doing. So I'm willing to do it.
Excellent. Well, thank you. We all know that volunteering time for these is a sacrifice for the good of the town.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to renominate Christina Milos for, do we have terms?
They're on there.
So we don't, oh, so it would go to 2028.
Mhm.
Okay. So let me clean that up. I'll entertain a motion for renominating Christina Milos to serve from 11/28/2025 to 11/28/2028. Motion,
So moved.
any discussion?
No, not, what is the charge of the CIP?
All right, we'll do that once we,
Okay.
let's get the appointment done and
All right.
we'll go over that. So all in favor of the reappointment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Welcome, Christina. To your question on the charge of CIP, we've talked about this some. The state law actually defines the minimum requirements, the expectations for CIP, which essentially is a 5-year plan, and it talks a little bit about, you know,
It's under the statutes.
plan. There's actually a statute
Okay.
requiring it, yes.
Didn't find that.
And I would be, if you would like me to get that information afterwards and send it to you guys, I'd be.
Yeah, I find it. I'll find it. I probably didn't use the right terms.
I can pull it together and share it.
Yeah, I think they refer to it as a capital improvement plan committee. I think that's the
You
terminology
gotta say it sometimes just right.
in the general statutes.
Yeah, that can be hard to get through for me. Thank you.
Okay, so, I don't believe we have Jason Ross here unless he's in someone
He's
else's.
right here.
Oh, he is. Okay, they move around.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, Jason. So we have Jason Ross willing to be appointed in the place of Steph Summers to represent the Board of Finance. Jason is already a member of Board of Finance, and I don't know, do you want to say anything, Jason?
I mean, not really. Just, I think there's a need in town to look towards the future and to start making some, I'm going to say, wise decisions and having a plan in mind and start making having a good plan in place instead of being reactionary, being more proactive. And I'd like to be a part of that.
Thank you. Any question for Jason? All right, I'll entertain a motion to nominate Jason Ross for the same term we described before, 11/28/25 to 11/28/28. There a motion? I'll move. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any more discussion?
Do we have to worry about party representation?
We probably don't on CIP because it's not elected, because it's appointed.
Given the current makeup, but I could be wrong.
No, you do not have to worry on this.
Right, because it's just an appointed advisory
Right.
committee, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
But it's a good question. Okay, any more discussion on the motion to appoint Jason Ross? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We don't have someone for Stewart now. Pete left because Pete was the representative of the so in CIP, the first selectman is a voting member. It's one of the odd committees where the first selectman is not the ex officio,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
That is weird.
So
That's you now.
So, yeah, so I'll entertain a motion to nominate, to appoint Mike McCoo to take the first selectman's spot on CIP.
Do we really need to do
Right,
that if you're
isn't that-
automatically?
It says automatically filled.
I don't know if we're supposed to make it an appointment to make it official.
Well, let
endorse
me
it?
make the motion. I'm gonna make the motion that the first selectman, Jim McCool, be automatically.
Or Mike.
Mike McCool.
That's my middle name,
I know,
that
sorry.
works.
Good intentions. I knew it, Jim McCool.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, to appoint Mike McCool as the first selectman seated in the CIP committee.
Yeah, I'll second.
All right,
But it's not necessary.
it might be unnecessary, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it this morning again.
I don't believe I've done it previously, but
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain. Okay, and then word to the public, we still have one spot to fill the vacancy left by Stuart Cobb, so if people are interested, please let somebody know, either contact the CIP chairman, James Marshall, or contact the selectman's office. Okay, one down. Economic Development Commission. Now, I have not been given any names to fill the vacancy. My understanding is Mike Johansson is willing to run for reappointment. That's what we understand, right? Okay.
We don't have a term for it.
It's July, I think it's expired in July.
I believe that is correct. And those are 5-year terms, so it'd be 7/5/25 to 7/5/30. All right, so I'll make the motion to reappoint Mike Johansson to the Economic Development Commission for a term of 7/5/2025 to 7/5/2030.
A second.
Was he attending meetings at that time?
Yes.
In the time in between?
Yeah. I mean, just wondering, why are we backdating our appointment?
I think that is reflective of what the proper term is.
Okay.
I mean, we backdated the ones we just made because we said 11/28 and it's
So,
not one,
yeah,
so.
good point.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, did we have a motion in a second on
Yes.
that? Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You and I,
So
I'm an aye.
okay, excellent.
7/5/30.
Yes.
7/5/30.
Mhm.
So we still have a vacancy, again, to those in the public who are willing to participate. Give some time for the Community Economic Development Commission. For years was kind of stagnant, but the last few years has really been working to try to do some good things for the town, and that's not only is important, but it's also can be controversial. So public input and people participating is really valuable because people understand the value of bringing businesses in to broaden the tax base, but they also are very concerned about what those businesses are. So the more people participate, the better. So we make good choices for our town's future.
One note, the plan of economic conservation development will be coming up for renewal in 2028. So that would be, so it'll be a 10-year window, so there's usually some preparation that goes on with that, the EDC can play a pivotal role in that.
Sure.
So it'll be sort of at the end of our terms, but will be part of the planning process of that, so something
That's an excellent point.
to think about.
Okay, that does EDC. The zoning board of appeals. Last I heard, all 4 names you see here, well, 1 is vacant.
Oh, well, we could nominate Bacon.
Yeah. Vacant. All 4 names here, those people are all interested in being reappointed. Again, I'm gonna say it right at the outset, this is a place where we really need people. This is a hard group, this is a hard board to get people on because they sometimes only end up needing to meet maybe once a year. So it's hard to keep people interested, but the law requires that you have to have a minimum of 4. It's not a simple majority. You must have 4 people vote forward for any appeal that's been approved. And so right now we only have 4, so there's no margin for error. It leaves no room for a dissenting opinion, and it leaves no room for someone not being able to show up at a meeting, because then you cannot act with less than 4 people. So, do we have any of the people, trying to see if we have.
Why are the terms so complicated? Got another statute then?
Well, no, they're all lined up now at 12/25, 12/1/2025. The reason they started at different times was just because when those people got put in, like to fill vacancies or whatever. But they're all up now. Well, we don't know which terms they're supposed to be, which person's in which term.
Right.
Yeah, so who wants 5-year commitment?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm not sure this is what was given to me, so
That's the ordinance.
we can ask Mike if he's still here.
Huh.
Just a minute.
Well, I read one of the ones on 1,
Check and see if he's here.
3, 2, 1, 1.
Stand by.
Alternate members, 5, 4, 1, 3. Then thereafter, members so appointed which are removed for cause. What does that mean?
No, it's 1, 3, 1, 2.
Sounds cumbersome.
Yeah, we don't know how to pick who's the 5, the 4, the 3 and all that.
I'd rather have them volunteer for it rather than.
Yeah.
We,
So how about we table this?
yeah, maybe we can get Mark involved in the conversation. He's been doing this
Yeah.
for a long time.
Okay.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I'll, Shannon,
I'll put it on the
Good.
agenda for the 15th.
yeah, and let's, try to both remember for me to call Mark and listen to tomorrow.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, Conservation Commission. Okay, these are laid out for exactly what the terms are. They all happen to be the same anyway. So we have, recommendation to reappoint Nora Jones as a regular member from 12/2/2025 to 12/1/2028. Nora Jones, are you online?
Oh, what Kathy is.
Come away with me.
Excellent point. Not literally, it's a good album.
It was.
Okay,
Yeah, Kathy's here.
I'll move that we reappoint Nora Jones as a regular member for the 3-year term, 12/2/2025 to 12/1/2028.
I'll second.
Discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, next, Laura Rodriguez, are you out there?
Here. Well, I make a motion that we reappoint Laura Rodriguez as a regular member of the Conservation Commission for the 3-year term of 12/2/2025 to 12/1/2028.
Second.
That was you, Mike, right?
That was me.
Okay.
Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 I move to appoint Patricia Phillips as an alternate member to the Conservation Commission for a 3-year term from 12/2/2025 to 12/1/2028.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Patricia Phillips, are you out here?
But Kathy's representing, so.
Kathy, you want to throw anything in before we vote on the last one here?
No, as far as I know, none of the other members are online tonight, but they're all wonderful contributors, and we're glad to have them reappointed.
Thank you, and we're glad to have people to reappoint.
Mhm.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you all for that, and thank you to everyone who has volunteered to be on these committees. And again, I would encourage other people in town to think about serving on one of these committees that maybe you have some interest in. You literally can be at the table that makes decisions about the future of our town. Okay. New item 9B, discussion of emergency services facilities building committee vacancies. The challenge that has been created by the election is that the 3 of us sitting here as the Board of Selectmen are also on the Emergency Services Facilities Building Committee. And I have sent a request to the FOIA Commission for clarification, but I'm taking the extra conservative approach right now. Like, I had a question for the chairman of that committee, who is sitting next to me, and or the vice chairman of that committee. But I didn't send it to them because I was afraid it could be construed as an unintentional Board of Selectmen meeting if I start asking them questions about this other committee.
Exactly.
I know that there are separations for different committees and different courses of business, but this is obviously creates a little bit of a situation. I, for one, will ask that the Willington Hill Fire Department replaces me, takes me out as a voting member because I was representing Willington Hill, and now that I'm in the first selectman seat, I think I should not be in that spot. So I will ask them to replace me with an alternate or another name, which we will hopefully have for the next meeting. And I will hopefully hear from the FOIA Commission in the next couple of days about what effect it has between the Board of Selectmen and this committee. And then we can certainly take further action at that point.
And then we are losing Brett Rothhausen.
Yes, because she is not the representative for the Board of Finance anymore, so she's off already.
So we should be getting someone from finance.
Yeah, we have to figure out what the landscape is and how many people we need to shuffle around and refill. So yes.
Other than that, Andy and my position remains to be.
Well, that's the question.
Yeah, the only question would be if the 2 of you being seated on the committee creates an unintentional Board of Selectmen meeting. Because it's still a quorum at 2.
It's a quorum,
And it's a committee appointed by the Board of Selectmen.
Right,
On top of it, so.
right, yes. It's a little.
We should have some
There's a
clarity.
push right there.
Right. So as soon as I hear from the FOIA Commission, I will send that email to both of you so that you have the.
Okay, we have a
Feedback
meeting coming up next week.
We do.
And since we're here, we can talk about it because we're at a public meeting.
Right.
Do we have a draft report yet?
We have what?
Do we have a new updated draft since our last meeting?
Since our last meeting.
Okay, all right.
Well, we had that Zoom conversation with Steve. did we not?
Right.
But that was 3 weeks ago.
But we didn't, I mean, nothing in writing that I've seen.
No.
Okay,
I have not gotten anything.
so I'm assuming that one of you will be beating on him to try to get the final draft before the next
Exactly.
meeting.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I wanted to ask you 2 days ago, but.
Right.
Derek sent you an email.
Well, I know. I'm really thinking that probably 2 selectmen shouldn't be on any commission.
Yeah.
I think that.
The FOIA Commission's pretty responsive on answering
Yes, but I mean,
questions, so I should have an
regardless of
answer
what
within.
FOIA says, I don't think it's a good idea.
Right, I just want to establish like what the
Absolutely.
sort of the legal or regulatory framework is, and then we can do even better.
Yes, I think that's why,
Okay, anything else on that topic for the moment?
right now.
No, that was a key thing, really.
Yeah. Okay, old business, 10A, Button Hill Solar Project presentation.
Good evening, gentlemen.
I know.
For those in the audience, my name is Don Berg. I'm chairman of the Housing Authority. And we're proposing a fairly large solar array up near Button Hill on your land, just 98% off of our leased area onto your property. I have with me Tim Sadler, our representative from Earthlight. We thought we'd discuss it with you a little bit since you haven't attended any of the meetings where we've discussed it with the prior administration. So I brought some maps of what it will look like in case you haven't seen it. I think you still have one on the wall at this point in time.
Yes. Yep.
I do, but
And just because I'm new to the discussion about this, this is small enough that it's not a Connecticut Siting Council, right? Okay. So it is all local approval.
It's about 5 times smaller than would be necessary.
Connecticut Siting, yeah, okay.
And I noticed on this map, I had yellow highlighted the lease line area,
Okay,
and the solar array is up here.
okay, so you touch it in this one
Yeah.
spot here, yeah.
And around it is the 7-foot tall fence that
Yeah.
the electrical code requires. My understanding. I'll let you get familiar with it a little bit. You want to add something, Tim, to this discussion, or you got?
No,
Basically, it's gonna be owned by the Green Bank.
happy to answer questions. Yeah, just for the sake of us, just making sure everybody's up to date. This is a Green Bank land lease, which means the system is paid for, owned and operated by the Connecticut Green Bank. There's a specific affordable multifamily program, which is a prescriptive program from the state and the utility. State provided the legislation, the utility administers the program. And basically, Button Hill will be receiving a fairly substantial upfront payment from the Connecticut Green Bank in order to use to improve the property. Primarily energy-related items. Don's board has been looking at a number of different improvements to the property with which to use those funds. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
No cost to the town or to the housing authority.
Term in years,
It's 20 years.
okay, and then there's a removal and restore clause, and there's a bond.
That's correct. There are a couple options at the end of the term. The system can be removed at no cost to the owner of the town. It could also be purchased at fair market value. And you could also negotiate an extension of the lease at that time. As you can imagine, there is no utility program in place on year 21, so nobody knows what the value of energy will be in 21 years.
Sure.
So that would probably play into any of those decisions, but at the worst case scenario, if for some reason the fair market value is very high, you would simply just tell the Connecticut Green Bank to remove the system.
So the fail safe is that there is a bond in place that if all the organizations fall apart and everything else, everyone goes out of business, there's still a bond in place that at the end of the 20 years, the system could be removed.
I wouldn't be able to answer a question specifically about a bond or how that would look, but I do know that there's a contractual responsibility of the Connecticut Green Bank to remove it. So we could supply those lease documents to you all for review, but I certainly don't want to give you an answer that I'm not 100% certain on. Like you're asking about a specific bond, I don't know that.
Yeah, in some of these programs, there's actually a bond as part of the original contract that's put in place so that if the Green Bank dissolves, and all of the vendors involved in installing it are all gone,
Then there's
then there's a bond sitting somewhere that at the end, if the thing, is out of service or we don't want it anymore, the bond assures that someone will come in and remove it.
I can ask that question, get back to you on that.
Yeah, you just find that out,
I
cause.
think I know how to ask that,
Yeah.
to the Green Bank.
Now, we've already been through, planning and zoning and health with this, so they're satisfied that it complies with their regulations. This is under the low to moderate income appendix of the residential renewable, residential renewable energy systems.
Yeah, for the utility,
Well, part of the program this is under is the appendix, I think it's appendix E of the RS requirements for low to moderate income rentals, and it provides a significant kilowatt hour incentive. And so that we end up seeing a significant amount of money for our residents that we can spend on building improvements, insulation, heating system improvements. And then we get the land lease, which is sort of a small portion of hopefully the money we have coming towards us, which is somewhere, $1,700 a year.
so there's two parts, the upfront funds that we mentioned for improvements to the building, and then the land lease is an annual payment of, it's pretty minimal at this point, it's around $1,700.
Cause a lot of the money in the program is upfront with that.
Correct. For this
bulk.
particular circumstance,
Right.
because the residents don't pay for the electricity, it's being paid for by the housing authority, that's why they're receiving the funds upfront instead of on an annual basis.
On an annual basis.
Correct.
Okay. Don, the role that we would play, you've been through most of your regulatory stuff already. So you're probably down to what, a building permit at this point,
We're
on the regulatory side?
At regulatory, we're still looking for Eversource to say, yeah, you can do it. We're just
Okay.
under the gun with federal regulations, trying to get things done as quickly as
So
possible.
is what is the output?
The system size is 183 kW DC, so the output per year would be around 200,000 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
Give or take.
So certainly, the assumption is Eversource is gonna approve that, cause this three-phase circuit on the street is way above that.
We are gonna
capacity.
connect to the three-phase,
Right.
correct? Yep.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
plan.
And I think it's 186.26 kW.
Oh, is it up to 186?
I think it is. I think it is. I don't have
It is a relatively small, I think the point you're making is it's a relatively small system.
Right, so it's not likely that Eversource is gonna say, no, you can't hook up.
Sure hope not, but it
Right.
doesn't cost you anything if it does, if
Right.
they do. It costs us money, but
Right.
any Green Bank
Okay.
mostly.
So our role in this then is we would be approving essentially the use of town land for it.
Yes.
And then is the town signing any of the contractual documents? Or is that through the housing authority and all that?
I imagine we're gonna sign some documents. I don't know exactly. I don't think you have to sign any, but I don't know for sure, other than, there's the bond that somebody has to sign too at some point, I'm sure. I think.
Other questions?
There's a land lease, so whoever's responsible for the land probably.
I believe we would probably have to be signing the land lease since it is town land.
Unless there was a modification of the lot, of the easement line or leased area, which would then probably give them the authority.
And that
I'm
would
just
be,
guessing.
that would be way more complicated. Yeah. Changing easements.
Would it be helpful, I don't know if you would be attacking it at this point, but we can provide you with the draft lease documents. They don't need to be like pre-filled.
Yeah, it's I guess, Don, you have to let us know what the drop dead date is on this, and then we have to back down the schedule as to when we get whatever we're gonna have to sign representing the town. We have to get it through our approval, send it off to the town attorney quick for their blessing, all that stuff.
That all
So-
takes time. I'll get you the docs as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think the concern is gonna be the bond and who's the recipient, if the bond gets called, who's the recipient of the funds?
Right.
I think that. probably would be the town because it's outside the lease area.
It's outside of the Button Hill lease area.
Right.
Yeah, with the exception of that little triangle of land.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I can't give you a drop dead date on it necessarily.
Just trying to get our ducks in the row. As you know, the federal tax credit's going away, so the Green Bank has to put up a substantial amount of money to secure that, which is fine. They're fine doing that, but we just want to make sure that all the parties are going to be generally on board with this as we move forward. So,
Well, I don't have a right to speak for the board. I think everything seems like it's going in the right direction. And in my mind, again, it's a matter of everyone, any other questions, and then us seeing the documents and making sure that the town's protected with some sort of a bond instrument or something to that effect.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the one question is, how does this benefit the taxpayer? Would be a question that could be asked. But the entire parcel, if I'm not mistaken, is a DER zone.
Well, certainly that's,
The property.
DER is there, our lease is in the DER zone. I imagine the whole property is too as well.
So, yeah, and so my point being that the whole property is intended to benefit elderly. This project is intended to do the same thing in a way.
So it's consistent.
I think it's consistent with that intent. Because I could hear somebody asking, well, what's it in for me as a taxpayer? Well,
It's gonna do repairs on the buildings that you as a taxpayer may not have to pay for now.
that could be, yes, or upgrades, but that's out of the housing authority's budget. And I don't know how it's going to affect that. I don't know how it works as far as repairs to the building.
Well, repairs to the building
this is
are,
generally sorry, Don, but I just want to be transparent that this is generally upgrades to the building, not maintenance that was already going to be done.
Right.
So, if you have.
Repairs was the wrong word.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, just to be clear, because,
Yeah.
if you're asking the question for the tax, on behalf of the taxpayers, it's not for general routine maintenance. It is for, improvements such as adding a generator for resiliency for the residents so that their heat's working, or EV chargers if they wanted that, or heat
Energy
pumps.
efficiency.
Energy efficiency
Yep.
to save money to the residents, and then thereby so I'm assuming the town contributes something to the housing authority.
not too much. We're pretty much on our own. Yeah, we don't.
Doing a good job.
Don't get any
too.
stipends from the state or from the town. We just have
It certainly
to.
doesn't cost the taxpayers anything, unless they were gonna generate revenue from that piece of land, and that would be an opportunity cost.
All set for the morning. Good. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. Take mine since I have one on the wall in my office already.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Don.
Old business 10B, discussion of school building committee selection and charge. As far as committee selection, I've reached out to the 3 people who were previously appointed to interview the people who had applied. And I am waiting for that to come together to interview the people who have applied. And I'll continue to work, as I've been reminded by Tammy, we need to get moving.
Yes, we do.
And as far as the charge, I would be very happy if anyone in the public wanted to submit somehow in writing by email or something like that, any ideas that they want to see in the charge. And certainly both of you, any ideas you want to contribute to the charge so we can narrow that down, that would be great. We have a lot of historical material.
Yes.
But I think the charge of the previous committee was a little cumbersome, the way it was written. Good intention.
We could
Good
launch from
intention,
that,
but-
though, couldn't we at least use that? as a
Oh,
reference?
absolutely.
Maybe we can get that out.
Yeah, and that is on the website, it's on the school, if you go to the halls, the school website, there's a folder for school building committee, and it's right in there, you open that and it has charge right there.
Very good.
So anyone in the public has access to that, take a look at the charge document and see if you like, dislike, whatever. and get information back, to, the first selectman's office or to Shannon somehow back to this building so we can pull all the ideas together, make sure they're in one place. And we'll get moving on that. So hopefully by the time we have interviewed the candidates, we'll also have roughed out the charge and we can get it rolling.
Who was gonna coordinate the three people? Cause right, if I remember right, it was me, Matt, and Troy.
I have reached out to the three people,
Okay.
including you, and suggested some timeframes.
Okay.
So check email.
Alright.
And Matt has already responded on the availabiliity. And so I will update you and
Okay.
Troy on what Matt said,
Alright.
so that you can respond in accordance with what he said.
That's fine, yeah, I can probably make anything work. So.
Yeah, I honestly believe that before we appoint anybody to this committee, the charge should be finalized because it's a substantial commitment. Because the building committee, at least the way the previous charge was, carries this project from conception to commissioning.
Yeah.
Which could be.
It's a broad scope.
Could be 3 years.
Right.
Or more.
So I think you bring up an excellent point, because there have been some people who suggested that you may want to do the school building committee in two parts. One is up through the referendum. And if it moves forward after referendum, many of the same people may continue, but you essentially restart the school building committee and you might focus some of the members more with construction experience at that point, because now you're going to be playing more of a construction role as opposed to a planning role. So I'm just saying that was a suggestion that people made. We'll put it in the conversation.
I don't disagree, but I also think that when we go to referendum, we are not going to have construction plans.
When we go to referendum, we will have schematic level.
Will be correct.
Right.
But that schematic level has to evolve into construction documents, and I think that there needs to be some continuity there.
So maybe that, if we were entertaining the two committee model, then maybe that early committee would carry on a little further until like contract signing. Or whatever, it's ideas right now.
Yeah, but no, I understand.
Any other thoughts on that for now?
No, but I think we need to keep focused on this and keep it moving, because
It's on the top of my list on my desk every day.
I'm sure.
And Matt, Troy, and I can coordinate through your office about times and rooms and all that
Yes,
stuff. Through the
right,
mechanics of that.
right, so we'll make sure to have the logistics set up for you, and when we're ready, get you copies of all the different applicants, all that stuff.
Right. Excellent.
Okay. Good and welfare, I had a couple items. Looking at this from sort of a community point of view, holiday season can be a challenging time for people. If people in the community are in need, either someone who's listening to this or someone who knows someone, please make sure that you reach out. There are services available, especially, and there are services that are not connected to the town as well, but for the town's role, contact our social and senior services departments. If you need support, we have food share, we have the food pantry. And if you in the community are feeling blessed, I would encourage people in the community who feel that they're blessed and are in good shape for the holidays to look around and see if there's someone you can help or share those blessings with. We had during the SNAP shutdown that went on recently with the federal government shutdown, happened to kind of coincide with the Boy Scout food drive and a lot of public attention. Those were very successful times as far as getting input into our like the food bank and all that other stuff. Those drives were very successful. All of the people involved were surprised at the amount of food that was donated, which is a great, I think the community should feel good about that. And money was donated too. One day someone walked in and by the end of that day, we had $400 in donations that people just showed up and gave money. And I think the community in general should pat themselves on the back. You showed the community spirit, and there are people who ate at Thanksgiving because of that. And so that, I want to kind of sort of conclude that whole discussion on the fact that Wellington, you did a good job. Others for good welfare? Yes? No?
I do want to reiterate, I know that the website is under construction, but I would strongly encourage that we put how to subscribe to both the website, the notifications and Everbridge when that comes to fruition. To have that on every agenda, on every department. I would encourage every department head to have that information on the bottom of their agendas.
That's with school building committee.
Yeah.
Like school building committee is #1 as far as time pressure, and this is like #3 on my list.
Yeah, good.
It's on my desk every day. Yeah.
But I mean, encourage all the department heads to do it on every agenda. That's just one
But the
other way to
key-
get the word
The
out.
key to that, Andy, is that's great to put the reminder. I agree wholeheartedly that it needs to be there, but the methodology to subscribe needs to be simple.
Yes, it does. Yeah. But I know that's
Yeah.
under construction.
It will be there very soon.
Excellent.
I had a meeting today, actually.
Good for you.
It's kind of a cool
We're
system,
working.
because almost everybody has a phone that gets data now. I mean, probably more people have that than emails on their phone.
I'm not one.
What, you have a flip phone?
I was waiting for that.
All right. There's always
I
one.
hate text and I much
Relic.
prefer email.
Yeah, I like text.
Okay, anything else for good and welfare? Okay, moving on to present to speak again. We'll start in the room. Anyone for present to speak? Okay, online, anyone present to speak? I know, it's just ding, ding, ding.
Kathy?
Kathy,
Hi, this is Kathy Demers, 48 Mason Road. First of all, I'd like to just say welcome. I know this is your second meeting and you ran a wonderful meeting today. I just want to suggest, based on some of your discussion today about subscribing to e-alerts, and also board and commissions that have openings, perhaps it could be something could be written in the Wellington Wire about it, posted on our Facebook page. And if at some point you think it might be helpful, maybe a postcard mailing to all the households in town. I know that would cost a little bit of money, but it may be worth it to get more people connected to what's happening in town. Thank you.
Kathy, you'll be glad to know that I discussed both of those things today, the Wellington Wire and the postcard.
Excellent. Okay, you're ahead of me. Great.
We're all running together. Apparently I'm present to speak. Michael McCoo.
Listen, I can't figure out how to change the name, so it's really Jen. But I just wanted to say thank you to all of you
On Clover Springs.
from Clover Springs. I just wanted to say thank you to the board for moving things forward in a positive direction and working together and being Wellington focused. I think that will spread far and wide as far as town boards and committees go, and it will move us in the direction that we need to be. So thank you very much, you guys, for doing that.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, Don Berg, Red Oak Hill Road, Wellington. I just wanted to add to my discussion before that, while it is a land lease and we probably will receive about $1,700 a year for the solar, hopefully more than that, but that's considered a bottom line. Plus we get an additional probably $250,000 to improve the properties and for tenant benefits. So I just wanted to mention those numbers, and I wanted to mention that the selectmen have supported us in the past with tax break on what we pay for taxes at Button Hill. So I didn't want to leave with the impression that the town didn't give us anything. They support us.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize to everyone here, but we need to go back into the regular agenda for a minute. I missed something.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to move to add the 2026 regular meeting calendar to the agenda tonight. We could make it 9C.
Okay,
So I made that as a motion.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay. So I don't know if you guys have copies yet. Is it in the folders?
No.
Okay. So this is,
Curious to see if it does on mine.
so this is, we believe we've accommodated all the Monday holidays. And so this would be the calendar if you want to take a minute and look at it, if you feel you're prepared to vote on it tonight. If not, we'll wait till the next meeting.
We can cover that next time, I think.
You want to wait till the next meeting so that you can cross check it?
Good. There's no days of the week on there. I mean, it's assumed Monday, but if there was
Hmm.
an
I
oddball.
put if it was different.
Yeah, there are two that are
It's assumed
Tuesdays.
Monday, and then I put
Okay.
There are
Tuesday.
3 that are Tuesday, sorry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the 5th and those are previously approved in January, so we're good there.
And then that's the, these are the carryovers to 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So these meetings will have the same Zoom link
Yes,
For the whole year.
for the duration.
yes.
Okay.
Well, no, it'll be a new Zoom link for this year. The new
Understood,
set,
but it will be the
yes.
same for
Yes.
this calendar.
Yes,
Okay,
So we will email this to both of you and we'll bring it up at the next meeting.
that's fine. We'll finalize it then.
Yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be any
Yeah.
objection. I just
I'm
want
not gonna have any conflict.
to digest.
And then maybe, it might be appropriate to even put that Zoom link right on this calendar.
yeah, I didn't put it in there until, I
Okay.
didn't wanna go through and put all the dates in there if
Oh,
the
sure,
work
put
had
them
been
all in.
approved.
Yes,
She's gotta put
Gotcha.
them all on.
into Zoom, yeah,
No, I can do it as a recurring, I just wanna make sure that.
No, understood, but
Yeah.
okay. All right, then we don't need to take any action on that, and we've done present to speak, so all that's left is adjournment.
so moved.
Second,
I second.
all those in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 7:32. Thank you all.
Who uses the term, this is a non-negotiable?